Just knowing that supposedly this area, with it being very secluded, that the mafia had dropped bodies back here, supposedly, allegedly.
Deep in the forest preserves of southern Cook County lies what is known as the most haunted cemetery in the world. A long and winding gravel trail leads us to the overgrown and eerie entrance of Bachelor's Grove, infamous for its unearthly images. The nearby pond is even haunted, with stories of a phantom farmhouse that appears and weird splashing sounds and ghostly mystery cars seen dumping bodies. There are nearly 200 bodies buried in this cemetery, and some of the paranormal activity has taken place with the headstones. This one has mysteriously moved from one end of the cemetery and back several times. Anything is possible in the world's most haunted cemetery.
We're currently walking back here in the middle of nowhere to Bachelor's Grove Cemetery on the south, I guess you could say southwest side of Chicago, and it is very eerie.
It should be.
Walking back here.
This is one of the most haunted places in the Chicago area, so.
Well, I mean, if you look behind us, I mean, it's all woods. We had to park way back up the road, cross this busy 4-lane road, and take this little path.
There is like a, from pictures I was seeing, there's like a water area.
The water area is right here.
Well, that's where they would dump the bodies, because the road used to be different. I'm assuming maybe this was a main road.
Probably.
Before they actually built what's out there now.
Because if you go right through here to my left, over the shoulder, you see this pathway. There's like a river, creek, because here is the bridge that you cross on the main road, and you can clearly see water just on the other side of here. And you see there's a little pathway, so obviously you can just keep going.
Bachelor's Grove Cemetery has numerous stories regarding the cemetery. I think my personal favorite, though, because I'm a sucker for urban legends, is the Hook Man. And I know you've probably heard of the Hook Man, but just in case you haven't, it's sometimes referred to as the Hook Man, the Hook, or the escaped psychiatric patient. The story goes, a guy and a girl find themselves parked. You know, he's telling her the story of the Hook, trying to, get her in his arms, so to speak. But it backfires because it terrifies her, and she's like, take me home. Well, he does. And when they get to her house, he gets out to let her out, and he finds a hook embedded in the side of the car, just barely escaping the grasp of the Hook Man. Another story is that a couple finds themselves out on Lover's Lane, or in our case of why we're here at the cemetery, they find themselves parked at Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. On the radio, they hear the story of an escaped psychiatric patient that is currently heading their way. That is the last known location of this escaped patient. Well, she's like, hey, I want to leave. And he goes to start the car. Needless to say, the car doesn't start. So he tells her, lock the doors, I'm getting out to go get help. Well, she's sitting there and keeps hearing the scratches on the car. Finally, a police officer shows up, and she jumps out and says, my boyfriend went to go get help. And the cop tells her, just come towards me and don't look back. But she does. And there above the car is her boyfriend hung upside down, slit ear to ear, with his fingernails being the one making the noise on the card. Now, with that being said, that is an urban legend, but some people claim that the boyfriend being hung upside down is here. Like back in the 70s, there were people that were claiming this is the spot that happened. Like a researcher was looking into the story and had somebody that was like, look, this did happen. I'm going to send you a file saying that that is indeed the location that happened at. Now, of course, the file never appeared, so take it as you will. Is this the spot that the Hook Man story came from? So this is interesting. Looks like somebody's been out here doing something. Some candles. Not really anything in the hole, though. Some broken glass. Looks like just some fake flowers down in there.
Yeah, I wonder why the broken glass and the candles. Ritual, maybe?
I mean, I did read that there's rumors for satanic rituals back here, and this would be the perfect
I mean, it would be
spot. It is back in the middle of nowhere. It is a very isolated, creepy cemetery. It has a lot of haunted tales about it.
I mean, yeah, if it's supposed to be one of the most haunted places in Chicago, I mean...
So another story that is really frequent with the cemetery is the Lady in White, or the Madonna. People often refer to her as Mrs. Rogers, I believe.
Well, this one's Mrs. McKee.
Well, I think the origin story of Mrs. Rogers is because initially when people saw this woman, like years ago, she had like a hood over her face, and they said she was holding a baby. And then that kind of morphed into them not seeing the hooded figure, but a lady in a white dress. And it said that she was no longer holding the baby, but it said that she would often be seen like wandering through the cemetery grounds as if she was looking for something or someone. So they say maybe she was looking for the baby. Well, in one grave here somewhere, all the stone says is infant child or infant baby or some infant girl, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the site that it happens to be beside that is that of a Rogers. So that's why they say it's Mrs. Rogers.
None are more famous than the iconic photo of the woman sitting on the tombstone, which ran in the Chicago Sun-Times.
One of the legends here is the Madonna of the Grove going through the cemetery late at night on a full moon, sometimes with, sometimes without a baby in her arms. So is Amelia here looking for her child that's buried here and not with the rest of the family is one of the possibilities.
It's not a very big cemetery.
Yeah, and they're all spread out too. They're not...
This is probably...
Somebody left a skull?
Wow.
Yeah, this is it. But it's not near one that says Rogers, though. This says Fulton. Infant daughter. So you see, people have left a lot of stuff here. An arrow, doll toys, a skull, McDonald's Happy Meal, another candle thing, bottle of water. Yeah, but it's this tomb that's behind it is Fulton. It's not Rogers. And look, but the mother's grave is missing. See, it says father, 1838 to 1922. But you see, there's no mother. The mother grave is missing.
They do have or used to, I don't know if they still do, it had a significant problem with vandalism back here also.
Yeah, see here, there's the water we were talking about right through there. Big body of water. Well, I guess it's not a big body of water, but a body of water. But it's weird. So you got the father, you got the big Fulton, you got infant and daughter with no name. But then over here you have just these random stones with nothing on them. Very, very peculiar.
Most well-known apparition was a translucent woman dressed in old-fashioned clothes, seen perched on this headstone. And she was photographed with an infrared camera.
The photographer was just standing right behind us. They said they didn't see anything at the time. It's been reviewed by Kodak. Kodak couldn't give a definitive answer.
It's one of the headstones.
We've actually found the stone from the picture. So this right here, this is the stone.
But there's not a name on it unless it's... That don't even look like it would have worn down.
No. So this is the stone because in the picture you can see the side that she's sitting on has little notches in it. Like this right here. And this is the only one of its kind. And you can see people have left flowers on it, coins. It's just weird that this one is the one that she was sitting on in the picture, but yet there's no name anywhere on it.
So we found this over here. It seems like when you're kind of walking around this, there's a ton of odd stuff all around the cemetery. Because I'm almost 100% positive this cemetery is not like still being used. I don't think it has been for a while. So like this stone right here, this is a fairly recent picture of some girl.
Yeah, 2020.
And here's another one down here. I don't have a year on that one. But, I mean, I don't know if that's the same. I don't think that's the same girl.
It ain't the same girl. But it's funny they got a picture, but Hageman is the last name. Definitely not the last name of the girl on the picture on the top, but yet they left playing cards. There's playing cards down there. They have little cars, lighters.
But this looks like another picture that somebody came and burned. Because that's remnants of a picture right there.
Yeah, all that white right there.
And it just looks like rain has made it look like that powdery substance.
That's pretty weird.
But like
very mysterious.
There's like this random tree over here.
So yeah, there's two random stuffed animals at the base of this tree.
Just out of nowhere. And then at this tree right here behind this grave, there's more, like there's another candle.
There's no, that's playing cards.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like anything was burned or anything.
But you got cufflinks, coins, stone.
Which could be, you know,
pop figure, more playing cards.
They're leaving something.
So, if you live in this area and you've been out here to this cemetery, leave us a comment, let us know. If you know any folklore on this cemetery or why the people are leaving random things on these graves, let us know in the comments. If you have any weird stories that you've heard or you've experienced about this cemetery, leave it in the comments. Let us know. We love reading the comments, okay? Because this graveyard, we've been to a lot of graveyards, right? A lot. Done stories of all different kinds across the country and even overseas. This is probably, at least for me, one of the weirdest cemeteries I think we've ever been to. From the people leaving the pictures, burning the pictures, the candles on the stump earlier with the glass, people leaving stuff on just up next to the random trees. It's very, very weird. Very weird vibes here at the cemetery that's out in the woods in the middle of nowhere.
So aside from the Hook Man and the Madonna or the Lady in White, there are other stories. There's numerous stories.
I thought my bag got caught on a bush or something. There was like tugging, because I was kind of moving around, taking pictures all around, just kind of general stuff. And I go turn around like this to look, and there's no bush on my bag. I go back this way, and all of a sudden, my bag, like something is yanking like a little kid.
And I turned around, and when I did, I saw his camera bag come up off his shoulder like this 3 times. He went ghost white. I went ghost white. And then I kind of snapped back to you, and I came running over here with my recorder that was still going. And I asked, I said, "Are you the one who scared my friend?" It's the only thing I could think to say. And sure enough, as we reviewed it, we heard this voice come out of nowhere. Just ominous. Yes. And we both here got the chills, got the hair stand up on the back of our neck, and we both decided at that point we had kind of stayed out our welcome. And it was time to leave.
Here is the audio recording of that voice.
Were you the one who just scared my friend Doug?
A lot of people report seeing balls of light, and often it's like a blue color. And I think there's been one account where it's actually been physical, where it pushed someone down.
The ball of light pushed somebody down?
There's been one account of a girl being able to touch the ball of light. That's the only account of that. Like, she actually put her hand through it.
Okay.
There's another ghost story of a caretaker that people often see through here, which kind of correlates with the Hook Man, because, you know, in the Hook Man stories, sometimes he has a shotgun with him. And oftentimes with the caretaker story, they'll see an older gentleman walking through the grounds carrying a shotgun, and he will scream at you to tell you to leave and that you shouldn't be here, and then he'll just disappear. Now, that's kind of tricky because historically they state that there was never a caretaker that took care of the cemetery. There have been reports of ghost horses. There have been reports of a ghost house that disappears.
And yet she sits here and wonders why, when she's talking and I'm not, that I'm sitting here doing this and I'm looking around. That's why, people. Okay, you're in the cemetery in the middle of nowhere. You don't know who might become person-wise just trekking down through the path, because behind me over here is the only way out. But aside from that, stories like that, and she wonders why I look around when we're out here. Trying to keep my eyes peeled, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep your eyes peeled. You never know, because all it takes with a spirit realm, from what we've experienced and learned, is just a glimpse. And it's gone. You got to be looking. They appear, they disappear like that, like the breeze and the wind, man. I'm telling you. You know when you get that funny feeling like something's watching you, and you kind of see something out the corner of your eye, your peripheral vision, if it's good. You see that, and then when you turn your head, it's gone real quick. That's what it's like, man. I'm telling you. It's what it's like. In places like this, you always got to be watching. You never know what you might see or pick up on. What might be looking at you.
However, beyond the spooky campfire tales is a dark history. 1966, a mushroom hunter finds a dead teenage girl in the woods. 1989, a woman kills her boyfriend. His body was found at the cemetery. 1993, 2 men were found guilty of severely beating a man. They traveled to the cemetery to attack and rob gay men. This is not a playground for those looking for a quick spook.
All right, guys. Well, that does it for us. Bachelor's Cemetery.
Bachelor's Grove.
Bachelor's Grove Cemetery.
Gotta get a word. Gotta get a ring.
My apologies. Obviously, we're not still at the cemetery. We had to walk out.
Yeah, so it's going down.
Yeah. Shout out to our VIP road warrior, the Crypt Lady, our Patreon. Thank you for your sponsorship each month. Keeps us going. Helps out a lot keeping these videos. If you'd like to be a Patreon member, check out our Patreon, Exit to Adventure. We have several tiers, each offering different things, and there's something for everybody. A level for everybody. Catch you down the road at the next exit.
Keep it spooky.
Later.